are. Good morning, ladies. Let's get going. So we're on the mat. We're going to start with just some basics, kind of warm up, and then we'll work through some of our first moves in our basic series. So sitting up nice and tall. Let's just start with a little breath work. So inhale deeply, just through the lower lobes of your ribs. So you want to try to expand outward. And then exhale, scoop in and up, zipping up, blowing out the air, and feel like you're kind of compressing, just not on the low back, but like your rib cage is really pulling inward. Okay, so inhale, moving out rather than up, and exhale, blow it out. Inhale, shoulders are rocked back, heart is slightly lifted. Exhale, zip up, blow it out. Just one more. So we're going to roll it all the way back. You might want to scoot your booty forward a little, rocking it all the way back, nice and slow. Making sure your feet are on the mat, so pulled up kind of close, but not over compressing the knees. So pulled up a little closer towards you, ready for a little bit of bridging. So shoulders pull back and down, inhale. Exhale, scoop and a little tuck of your tail, start to lift up. Take a breath at the top, inhale. Exhale, pull the belly to spine. Let's roll it down nice and slow. Head staying steady, nose toward the sky. Inhale. Exhale, a little bit of a scoop in the tuck, and exhale, lift. Inhale at the top. Exhale as though you could just kind of drop the belly into the spine, lowering down nice and slow. Just be mindful, anything you're feeling in your back today, inhale. So you don't have to make it a really big arch. Okay, so just kind of move accordingly to how you feel, but do always try to drop belly to spine. Blow out the air and really focus on that sensation of kind of dropping in. Okay, so inhale, exhale, little scoop, lift. Inhale at the top, exhale, lower down. Just take a moment there at the bottom, a little knee sway side to side. And then we'll come back to center. Let's take a little journey with the hundreds. So your first option, bringing your knees just kind of right over your hips. You could use a ball or block between the thighs, or just kind of zip up the inner thighs together. We're going to take the arms, sweep them overhead for just a moment. Kind of get a nice big opening here before we start. And then engage by pulling a rib cage down, hip points kind of dial up. And when you do that, you notice that your knees move a little closer to you, not because you hinged from your hip, but because you pulled your belly in. Okay, so sweep the arms. Start to float. If you want to keep your head down, you could always have that option. Let's take a little deep breath. And exhale, blow it out. Still suctioning belly to spine. So find pelvic floor muscles first. So a little hammock or trampoline that's kind of connecting between your sit bones, your pubic bone, and your tail. So try to lift your trampoline that's underneath you. Then zip up, belly to spine. And take that space from pubic bone up to the sternum and try to zip up all the way. We're going to zip the legs, maybe lengthen out through the inner leg line. Turn the toes out. Start to lower them down if that's something that feels right for you. Now, being challenged and working doesn't mean that it's not right for you. Take a deep breath. Exhale, blow it out. 3 more, inhale, maybe lower them down a little more, squeeze through the inner thighs and the glutes, belly in, last one. And then release the legs all the way down. Sweep the arms overhead, take that nice big reach, pull rib cage down, hip points up again. So we're gonna start with a roll up. You can do a modified roll up, feet on the mat, away from your buns. Okay, so inhale. Sweep the arms. If you're following with this modified, you're going to take a slow roll up, maybe even holding on behind your legs. Lift up, inhale. Exhale, roll it back down really slow. So you're finding all the control here first before the movement. So control through deepest part of your belly muscles. So pull in and up, a little scoop and lift. Reach up. So if your knees are bent, you're going to reach up a little higher. It's almost really like a modified teaser rather than just a roll up. So it's kind of a combination of the two. Now we can take the legs straight if that's where you're working today. Inhale, exhale, scoop, reach out through the inner leg line. So your legs are going to try to lift and you're probably going to try to throw yourself up there. Don't jerk yourself around. Okay, roll back nice and slow. Feel the inner legs pressing together. Scoop the belly. Inhale. Rib cage stays pulled in. So there's a lot of action when you reach those arms. Pause before you lift. Don't swing those arms up too much. So I don't want you to use momentum. Just take it where you can. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rolling back nice and slow. Very controlled. Good. So you notice if I get to one certain spot, my voice will shake because if I'm talking, because my abs are shaking a little. Roll it up. Just go to where you can, even if it's halfway. You don't have to get all the way up. We're going to take one more. Really focus on that lowering back. So that nice slow descent. So if you have trouble getting up, really focus on the rolling back. And gain a little more control there. Reach. Inhale. Exhale, slowly bring it down. And then release. All right, so we inchwormed our way back on the mat. Walk it back into the center. Pull up your pants. I have nice high-waisted pants on today, so they didn't move on me. All right, single leg circles. Right leg up. Rotate the knee out. The left foot can stay on the floor, or if you're working into that more intermediate position or advanced beginner, you can take the legs straight. So I'm going to start with the knee bent, shoulders back. Inhale. You're crossing over the midline. Exhale, circle it around. Pull in through belly first. So pelvic floor engaged, then belly to spine. That pelvic belly is super engaged. Like you could pull your hip points toward each other and then dial them up. Rib cage stays down. You feel your sacral space really connected to the mat. Let's take two more. And one. Go ahead and reverse. Sweep it around. Inhale. Exhale, up and around. Good. Inhale, circle. 3, 2, 1, and release. Bring that knee in. Give it just a moment. Switching sides, so left leg goes up, right foot on the floor, or straighten it out, depending on your flexibility today. Okay, so rotate left knee out. No wobble in your hips. Inhale, circle it around. Exhale. Trying to keep the shoulders pulled all the way back. Your belly into spine, hips nice and steady. Your circle can be kind of a stop and start, especially if you're really trying to maintain that control. So you can inhale around, exhale up, or you can continue to make it a smooth circle as you start to progress. Okay, so let's take 3, 2, and 1, and reverse it. Bring it around and up. Nice and slow. Let's go 3, 2, 1. Bring the knee in. Give it a little hug. You're going to rock both knees into the chest. Take a little kind of spin side to side. We're going to just take a little rock and roll forward and back. So you can use a little momentum here, but we're not going to in just a moment. So if you want to rock a little, you can. Or if you just want to kind of roll yourself up, feel free to do that. Okay, so sitting up tall, move the hips towards your heels. Here we go. Rolling like a ball. All right, so think of your ball a little bit more like an egg shape. All right, so you're kind of, wider at the bottom, just like an egg, and a little more narrow at the top. We're gonna keep ourselves kind of tucked in here, so your hands can be on your shins or behind the thighs. But I want you to make sure that you're not swinging your feet, okay? So we're holding on, shoulders are back, belly is scooped in, find your scoop, right? So we're not gonna roll past this little notch right here at the top, at the base of your neck. So not past that little notch, or little process, not so much a notch, a little knot. All right, so hold on, inhale, rock it back just between your shoulder blades to pause and come up. And that first 1 or 2, you might have a lot of momentum, okay? So we're gonna really kind of tuck in, inhale, roll back, exhale up, lift the heart. Inhale, rocking back, exhale, roll it up and stop. Good, you wanna watch your feet though, not literally, but see if you can feel, right, if your feet are flying up or not, or it's keeping them really tucked in. Even if I'm here, I don't wanna move from my knee joint. Okay, good. Inhale, rocking, exhale, up. And there may be a time or two when you have to kind of catch your balance. So when you get to the top, you can lift your heart. That will help you put your brakes on. Okay, if you're trying to get a little more advanced, you stay a little bit more rounded. Let's try 3. Use your breath. 2. Last 1. Awesome. All right, feet go down. We walk the hips back. Go ahead and roll it on back. We bring knees back into chest, single leg stretch. So take a moment and let's just kind of get a little movement in the hips though. So we're gonna just take hands on top of knees, take a little circle, maybe opposite directions one way, like you're opening a little butterfly, and then back the other way. So just kind of lubricating the hip joints a little more. Keeping your belly pulled in still, shoulders back, and we come back to center. All right, ready for single leg stretch. So we pull one leg in, the other leg goes out, and it can be anywhere from close to the, pointing to the ceiling, where the wall meets the ceiling, or maybe a little lower, maintaining control. Head can stay down, okay? Or float the shoulders. Inhale, a little bitty pulse, and then exhale, switch. Inhale. So continue to engage through the pelvic floor first. Zip up, pubic bone, all the way to your belly button. And then kind of holding your girdle together around the waist. Inhale, notice it's a little pulse, but not a pump of your head. Inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, good. Shoulders remaining back, whether they're floating or not. Let's take 2 more. Inhale, exhale, 1, and release. Roll back, give yourself a little moment. If your head was rested especially, just take a little spin side to side with your neck. We're going through double leg stretch. So really engage, just like you did. Think of it kind of like rolling like a ball, but now we're going to be extending away from center. So I want you to pull yourself into a nice little ball. Now don't put any pressure here on the neck or tension on the neck by shifting your chin forward, right? So engage first, scoop, and then just think about floating up. So if that's still not working for your neck, just keep your head down. Okay, feet float, inhale. Reach out as far out as you can, keeping your hip points dialed up, belly in. Exhale, sweep around. Nice and slow. So the lower your legs go, the more your glutes will need to engage. Reach, exhale, pull it in. So we're not pulling with our hands, we're just pulling the knees toward the chest, scooping the belly. If you're feeling tension in your neck, you could even have a little combination of lowering back and then floating up. Inhale, find deep engagement, reach. Exhale, circle it around. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale, pull it in. And release it down. Turn your head side to side. Take the feet down and we'll take a little knee sway again. Just side to side with your knees. And very nice. Let's come back to center. Now right now we're doing a lot of supine work, so just reclining on our back. We will flip in a moment. We're getting this whole first kind of basic series done and out of the way first, all right? So let's bring the hands behind the thighs. You're gonna rock yourself back up. Let's find heels toward corners. You can always put a little bend in your knees. This is not about rounding your low back. We do not want kind of that big rounded cat stretch sensation there. So we're going to keep a little bend in the knees. That is going to be a little bit of rounding, but it is more from your thoracic spine, kind of from your bra line space up. You're going to be pulling in and up, and it's like you're diving forward, but you have something holding you here. Like imagine you have a band that runs across the waistline, and it's tethered to the wall behind you. So that big belt, like a big weight belt, right? Like a weightlifting belt, and it's right across the midline. Okay, so it's connecting from your rib cage down to your hips, and it's holding you in. Okay, so inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, scoop the belly, and then just start to kind of dive forward. We're not rounding in the low back. We're keeping that pretty stationary. It's gonna have a little bit of round because it has a curve in it, naturally. We're gonna come back up. So inhale, so imagine that weight belt around your waist, and it's tethered to the wall. Okay, inhale. You're trying to pull away from it, but it's holding you like a brace. And then reach. Inhale, come up. So imagine as well, like you had your back on the mat and you had to lift your shoulders and reach up to your feet. Let's take two more. Inhale, very nice. Exhale, pull the belly in, dive it forward. And one more, spine reach. And come back up. All right, very nice. Go ahead, let's turn over to one side. So we'll do our first in some series of side kicks. So you can come all the way down, head rested on bicep, hand on underhead, or you can be lifted up on your elbow. Today I'm going to start low. Okay, so I'm starting here with more of that beginner and advanced beginner space. So toes turned under on the bottom foot. And let's take that top leg, keep it nice and straight. Reach out through the toes, stacking your hips. Inhale, lift up. So that knee is rotated out. Exhale, zip up, inner thighs to heels. Inhale. I've got my bottom foot slightly forward, not much. Okay, so just maybe a tiny bit of a pike position there. Exhale. When you lift that leg up, try not to roll back. So if that means your foot comes a little more forward, that's okay. Everybody's hips are put together a little differently. Your range of motion is going to be different. So just move accordingly to how it feels for you. Inhale. Just feel though like you're moving in water. Like you could kind of have a little bit of resistance around you. And we can take that resistance and really squeeze on the way down, not just with your top leg, but with the bottom leg as well, even though it's stationary. Let's take one more. Inhale. Exhale, zip it up. Good. Now reach out through the foot. Inhale. Little circles without moving your body, without moving your shoulders. Nice little circles. So you really have to engage through the deepest part of your belly to keep yourself from moving around. That's where our control is coming from. Let's go ahead and reverse. Inhale. Exhale, just draw that little circle. And if your circles don't look quite like circles, that's okay. It will probably get more round over time. Take one more. Bring it back to center. Let's draw a line with your toe along the inside of the leg. Reach up, get long. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale. Exhale and reach. So sometimes, depending on which side I'm working, I can feel a little clicking and popping. Not necessarily a bad thing, not necessarily a good thing. Okay, let's reverse that. Take it up. but also it sometimes lets me know my hips might be a little out of alignment. So I can also really focus on finding the space that it doesn't click. I have to really, really focus that. Finding little minute movements and then holding it in that space. And then I'm really holding with these little small muscles that can hold my hip in place. And take it down and release. Shake it out a little. Let's go to the other side. Circle those feet around while you're moving. Over to the other side. Finding the right place for your head to be rested. Okay, if you're resting it, take that top leg. Let's rotate it out without rocking the hip back. Okay, so just a little rotation to where you can, whatever your natural external rotation is. Take it up. And then exhale, slowly bring it down. So toes turned under on the bottom foot if possible, okay? And I'm pushing up from that bottom foot to engage my quadricep and the inner thighs working as well. Inhale. Don't forget about your glutes when you zip up all the way from inner thighs down to your heels. You're gonna feel your glutes kind of squeezing together a little more. Inhale up. Exhale down. 3, 2. Good. So don't forget here, you got that other zip happening from your pubic bone to your belly button. And 1. All right, very good. Reach out through the toes. Little circles. Find your engagement before the leg starts to move. Deep breath. We're just counting really by breaths here. So let's go 3 more breaths. 3, 2, 1, and reverse your circle. Bring it back, or whichever direction you didn't go before. Inhale. Exhale. 3, 2, and 1. Draw that line with your toe. Reach up. And bring it down. So again, notice if your hips are kind of rocking when you do this, and try to stabilize your hips. If you feel clicking or popping, just make little minute adjustments, meaning maybe kind of draw your top hip down a little. Maybe kind of shift your hips just slightly, and then find the muscles that can engage to hold them there. Okay, it's going to be, depending on what you need to do, a little different for everyone. Usually though, it's going to be that pelvic floor first. Okay, let's reverse. Take the leg up. Bend the knee, press it out. Up, bend the knee, press it out. Good. 3. Bottom leg still engaged as well. 2, 1, and release. All right. Go ahead and roll it over onto your belly. We'll take just a little single leg kick from the belly. So we're all the way down, head down, shoulders back. So your head can be resting on your forehead on your hands, okay, or on a towel or something like that that's more comfortable. We're going to relax the shoulders back, put a little push into your pubic bone, engage, and kind of drop your tail just a little more. Keep this engagement. Let's just hinge the left knee. So we're just going to kick through the heel toward the bottom. 1, 2, and then lift and reach. So try not to rock your hips. Okay, so right side, 1, 2, and these first couple might not be a big range of motion. Quads might be a little tight. Okay, inhale, 1, 2, lift and reach. Shoulders stay back. Shoulders like to get involved in everything. Keep them relaxed. Focus on your glutes. 1, 2, and reach. So you're focusing really with that kind of that powerhouse field, that glute contraction, pelvic floor engagement, girdle muscles, all engaging at one time. 1, 2, and reach. These are our stabilizers. 1, 2, and reach. Let's take 2 more each side. Inhale. Like you could reach your toe to the wall behind you when you push it back. Not just a kick and a lower, but reach. Let's take 1 more each side. And last one. Good. Go ahead and bring the hands underneath the shoulders, or you can stay there for a moment and just kind of sway your feet if you want a little transition. And then we can take hands underneath the shoulders, start to slowly lift up into a little tabletop, knees underneath the hips. So just take it as slow as you need to. You can take it a little sway side to side. I like to kind of really stretch out my hips after that and the side waist. And then when you come back to center, just find that tabletop position and really scoop the belly in and up, finding a nice little cat-cow. More of just your cat. Don't have to worry as much about the cow part, but you can let your belly fall a little. I wouldn't go too extreme. We were just doing a little bit of back bend there on our belly. Okay, so bring it back down, inhale. Just give it a nice little rounding to whatever level feels most comfortable to you, but do scoop the belly. Take one more. And then release, let's have a seat. All right, we're coming to the top of your mat. Everyone's favorite, the seal. Okay, so seal, a lot like rolling like a ball. So, but you have more opportunity to kind of roll back on your neck, which we don't want to do. I'm just gonna angle this a little more. All right, so with your seal, you're finding that space where you can balance. We're gonna hold hands underneath the ankles, just kind of wrapping around. Your shoulders are back. So the idea is it would look like a seal, or I don't know, little seal flippers, right? So we usually start here by a little clap. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna roll back just to your shoulder blades again. You gotta bring your feet over your head a bit. Pause. You'll come up and do it again. 1, 2, 3. Never back onto your neck. You need to stop before you get to your neck. Now, right now, you can just roll back, roll forward. Try not to just make it like a rocking chair though. Find a little pause, like you can float up, engage your abs, and then bring it back up. Now, your next option for full seal, I know I see wobbly seals too. Just keep trying. So you roll back and you can clap back here. 1, 2, 3, come up. 1, 2, 3. You have to be really careful when you roll back though, not to land on your neck. 1, 2, 3. So you might have the same energy if you're familiar with doing shoulder stands in yoga practice. So if you do shoulder stands, similar action, but without the weight on your neck or without the weight on your head. Okay, so you're lifting like a reverse abdominal curl. And back up. Try just one more, just because it's fun. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And ta-da! All right. So now just find yourself a seated space. Oh, just a nice little seated space. So this leg can be bent back, or it can be kind of out in front of you, or even just kind of crisscrossed across here. This is another option that you can take if it feels better for your hip. So you don't have to have it out so wide, or you could always have it straight out to the side. Okay, so sometimes I forget to tell you about that. So if taking it out wide really kind of bothers this internal rotation of your hip right here, maybe just stack it and see if it feels better. Okay, or if it bothers your knee, don't do it at all. So we're gonna reach up and over, nice little mermaid. And then back over to the other side, give it a little reach, maybe a little twist. Inhale, coming up. So this side, I can take that knee out wider most of the time, or some of the time. It doesn't always feel great though. That's the side I have a lot of hip issues and stuff along the inner thigh, sometimes the outer thigh, the low back. So really this is probably a better option, say for someone like me, to do on that side especially. Let's come back up. Give it a little moment. If you want to take it forward, so here I can usually take that a little wider and move forward, or you can straighten out that leg. Just get a nice little forward bend here. If the leg is straight, you're going to get more on your hamstrings on that side. If it's not, you're going to get more probably on your hip on the other side. So let's come up. Let's reverse that. Sitting up tall. So here again, make your choices, your selection. Up and over. And then bring it over to the side. Give it a nice little reach. If you want to add that twist, you can fold over a little. Inhale, coming up. Maybe just a side reach is all you need today. Just take what you need. Don't worry about the rest. So it might just be that nice little lateral long reach, or you can add a little twist over. Come up. Take this last one. And over. When you're ready, come forward if you like to take that little forward bend. And then back up to center. Let's come all the way back to seated. Find some place that feels right for you, cross leg or otherwise. Shoulders taking a little roll back and down. And let's just take the hands out to the sides for a moment. Let your head fall to one side. Immediately your shoulders usually try to shrug up, so I want you to drop your shoulders down. Let's take a lift back to center. Exhale, head to the opposite side. So again, that shoulder might try to scrunch up there. Actively drop it down, both sides. Back up to center. Let's do a nice little tuck. So dropping chin forward. So I noticed, like, first thing in the morning, it's almost impossible for me to take my chin toward my chest. Everything feels tight, but that's one of the reasons that I've started doing my sun salutations. 8 gratitude sun salutations every morning, and things get loosened up, and I can just feel like this band of fascia all the way from my neck down to my low back, just kind of like warming up and getting a little longer, and it feels so good. So it's good to add a little movement when you get up in the morning. It might be small movement, but it can grow over time. So let's reach up big, stretch up, bring it down to kind of get things kind of lubricated, warmed up and going in the morning. Try to do a little bit of movement, even if it's just some basic salutations. Don't even have to have any down dog or any cobras or up dogs or anything. No chaturangas required. Bring hands down. Give yourself a little bow for being so awesome and showing up and getting here today. Awesome job.